Back to your point about like directions, I find it fascinating that I think actors largely are self-sabotaging. I really do believe that. And I know it's not a great thought to have, but I just see so many examples of it. I think the fact that actors sit in waiting rooms and just stare at their phone when you could be thinking of buttons, you could be doing so much stuff. You could be talking to who you're going in with. Like it's madness to me that you can sit on your phone for 23 and a half hours throughout the day. But for this 30 minutes, if you really want to be an actor, work on your thing, to your point about like auditioning is the job. Like it's wild to me.
It is. And I say to actors all the time, you really don't have to be working that hard on your auditions to be working harder than almost everybody else. It's the truth. And I think, early on, I thought, same thing everybody thought. I thought, I came out here and I was like, well, commercials, it's for Applebee's. There'll be a board in the room. No big deal. Oh, but if I had a co-star audition for like Scandal or something, I'd like write a character journal. I'd be like, where did this valet go to school? What is he doing here? What does he want? And there's several reasons to take your commercial auditions just a tiny bit more seriously. A fact of life one is just money. I mean, anybody who's doing theatrical jobs right now for any of the streaming services or anything like that, the money's tough. It's not that great.
Yeah.
And commercials still, even with all the contracts and different things like that and usages and stuff, it's still pretty good and can help stay afloat in a tough city. But no, I just think a little bit more ownership over copy, meaning like have it a little bit more embedded. Don't always rely on the board. Sometimes you have to. We're not crazy in casting. If it's pharmaceutical copy or financial copy, I'm not going to be like, why can't you do this all to camera on your very first audition? However, I'm surprised by this all the time. When people get called back and they know the eye line is like the camera and that they have dialogue, they're still ping-ponging their eyes back to the board and kind of reading off the board. I'm like, oh, well, but I mean, you knew you were going to get called back. You knew you're really getting closer to getting this job. And I just say to people, yes, you can use the board. You can do those little tricks. I know a lot of them. We do it with self-tapes and stuff. And again, sometimes we have to. I'm not saying we should be memorized all the time. But just know that there are going to be a good number of actors that are going to come into that room, look dead into the camera.
Yeah.
And you're going to believe every word out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And that's your competition. So it's totally up to you.
You just touched on my biggest pet peeve with auditions is when they give us the copy and then they say read to the board. I hate that because I make it a point to get off. And then when I find I also have really bad eyes. I've always all my life had really bad eyes. So like I oftentimes can't like clearly read it.
Nice.
Thank you. They do look nice, but they can't see for shit.
They don't work, yeah.
But like, so if I'm half reading it, but I'm off book, like it always trips me up, and I'm so maddening because I'm like,
you can ask us to. I never mind if an actor's like, would you mind just turning the board around?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't mind.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I've never done that. Like today, they gave me a line right before one line, easy, and then they're like, read to the board. And I'm like, okay, cashback Visa, unlimited. And then I find I trip up more because I'm half reading but half memorized.
Yeah, I mean, I think we make the eye line the board as much as we can as kind of a safety net for you.
Yeah.
So you don't lose your place. If it's a group thing, there's a lot of reasons to do it. But let's assume maybe you didn't ask to turn around the board. Then I would just pick a board-ish fixed point in space and make the C stand or whatever the board is on. Make that your eye line. You don't necessarily have to tell us you're not reading it off the board. Yeah. But yeah, it can be shocking sometimes. The people come in not ready to go.